What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to a brand new episode. Stick around. We're going to learn and discuss on why and what and all the reasons why the 4.6 on all the Panther platform, including the trucks as well, why they leak and what really you can do to prevent them. So stick around. So today we're going to be working on the 2011 Lincoln Town Car. This thing's already had a intake manifold changed, and I'll tell you exactly what mileage it broke on. You cannot believe how many miles this thing has and where the intake manifold broke. Alright guys, here's the 4.6. Now, like I said before, this intake manifold has been changed already, approximately around like maybe 98,000 miles. So really, these intake manifold usually break around the 130, 150,000 mark, and that is just because of use and season changing, of course, and your antifreeze. Yes, your antifreeze is the essence of keeping the plastic on the heater core solid, no corrosion, because in the back right here, if you see this tube right here, this has antifreeze going through the heater core to warm up your cabin. So if the corrosion from the antifreeze and it gets old and just gunky, it's just going to stick on that piece fitting that fits on this tube between, like right there where that clamp is. That's hooked up on plastic, and heat, especially in the back of the engine bay, and also just over time, guys, it's so tight that when you go ahead and take this off, right, it's just gonna break. That piece broke on this engine. I was actually trying to replace the silicone hose, putting a silicone hose on this, and it ended up breaking. And I just, you know what, I called it quits. I had to replace the intake manifold, and I took that as a sign of, you know what, I'm not even gonna try and mess with it anymore, because it's not a hard job, but it's just tedious. So for changing this intake manifold, you guys, besides keeping the antifreeze coolant clean and fresh every, I'd say, like 70,000 miles, just make sure you change that. Where you can get this intake manifold is going to be in the link below. The only stuff I use is OEM on these cars, just because with fuel and air, I only put OEM parts on the engine for the computer. It's a very sensitive computer. And also, I don't buy anything from AutoZone because the dormant intake manifold sucks. There's two intake manifolds that you can buy. There's the OEM one that has the O-rings built in it, or you can buy the one that doesn't have the O-rings built in it. It's like a metal gasket with the O-rings in place from the factory. So when you go ahead and remove this one, you can just build in your O-rings with the housing of it. It has like two little nibbles. Like, say this is the whole gasket here, there's two nibbles, one here and one here, that really make it lock on top of the motor, so that way you can put the intake manifold on and it won't leak. The one I trust, to be honest with you, is the one that has the built-in O-rings, the seals inside the intake manifold, not the whole gasket one that clips in on top of the block. I just don't trust that. Why? Because I've already used it, and those leak tremendously. So on this one, it's got the intake manifold with the O-rings built inside of it, so that way it fits snug and there's nothing else covering the surface. It just fits snug, and then you lock it in place with the 10mm bolts that you're supposed to lock them in place with. Besides that, you guys, keep the antifreeze cool. Make sure to, like, maybe, you know, if you're very OCD like me, I also take out, when the engine is this cold, I do take out the heater core hose and then just wipe around where it hooks up on Just make sure you've got like silicone sprayed around it. It keeps the plastic nice and lubed up. Just that way, when you go ahead and take it off again for whatever reason, it doesn't crack and leave you stranded. But for this one, it broke at like 97,000 miles, and I was very, very shocked because it's a baby of a Lincoln. It hasn't seen tremendous miles yet, and it broke. So, you know, I've decided to help people out on why and where these intake leaks from. And I'll also tell you, this right here, that guy will, especially if you have the one before from like 95, this intake piece, the crossover pipe right here, that guy was plastic before they turned it to aluminum. And my oh my, the plastic leaks. Anyone that's ever had a Panther platform from the 90s will tell you that those the front face of the intake manifold leaked a lot when it comes to these cars. Also, they also leak from right here. Like, let me show you. Like, you see this little runner here, it goes down all the way down here. They leak from the front driver's side as well. So you cannot help that. That will leak over time. But you'll definitely be able to help out the heater core if you keep it clean. That being said, the link for this intake manifold that I use with the O-rings are in the description below. Make sure to check it out. If you're having any leaking questions on the intakes, do put questions in the comment. I'll be more than happy to help you out. And if you are supporting my channel, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And have a great one, you guys.